Let us go. We got New Orleans has its bloody... Oh, Nikes. I forgot. There we go. Whoopsies. New Orleans has its bloodiest week this year with 9 murders as National Guard preps to move in. Right. Governor Jeff Landry has asked for up to 1,000 Louisiana National Guard troops to be activated in his state, which Donald Trump previously appeared receptive to. Oh, see, even the... so you have the governor asking, hey, Trump, we need some help. So there you have it. You have the governor himself asking. New Orleans experienced its deadliest week since January, as Louisiana's Republican governor asked for the National Guard to be deployed into the Crescent City. 9 people were murdered in New Orleans across 9 neighborhoods last week, igniting concerns about local safety. The deaths included a beloved chef who was waiting to pick up his 2-year-old son from daycare when he was carjacked, and a mother and a hospital worker who was visiting New Orleans to celebrate her birthday. Carl Morgan, a sous chef at Brennan's restaurant in the French Quarter. Oh man, that's unfortunate. He worked at the French Quarter. Was ambushed outside the Abiona House Child Discovery Center in Mid-City on Tuesday evening. The suspect was identified as Raymond Wells, 21, and tracked to Interstate 10 in Matera. Police told Daily Mail Wells remains in hospital Saturday morning being treated for injuries. Officers found Wells inside Morgan's vehicle with a gunshot wound to the head. Oh, Jesus. Authorities said to the New York Post that Wells had been cruising the neighborhood earlier, firing at cars and attempting other carjackings prior to murdering Morgan. 9 people were murdered in New Orleans last week, including sous chef Carl Morgan, pictured. Morgan was killed outside the Abiona House Child Discovery Center in Mid-City on Tuesday. Scene of the shooting is seen above. Morgan's loved ones described him as a devoted father and a talented chef, whose life revolved around his son. Brennan's general manager, Christian Peddleton, told Fox 8, he was the biggest teddy bear. He was just the happiest dad, so tickled to be a dad. He loved moments with his son. He was a huge Raiders fan. Well, that's your unfortunate circumstance there. You're a Raiders fan. Oof. Wells was charged with first-degree murder. Deputy Chef Nicholas Garnon said at a press conference. Days earlier, Jessica Williams, 33, was killed in a shooting on Bourbon Street. Williams was only in New Orleans celebrating her birthday, having turned 33 about 2 hours before her tragic death. New Orleans police arrested Mikey Jarvis, Andre, 20, and Dontrell Bradley, 19. Man, they just keep getting younger and younger. In connection with Williams' death. Jessica Williams, right here. Williams was visiting New Orleans from Chicago for her birthday. Officers originally responded to shots fired at 2:22 a.m. on September 28th and found 2 adult females and 1 adult male shot, a press release said. Police determined that Andre had fired gunshots toward Bradley, who was struck and returned fire. Williams was declared dead on the scene while the remaining women and men were taken to the local hospital. Later, a 3rd woman with a grazed gunshot wound was found and hospitalized for treatment. Governor Jeff Landry has asked for up to 1,000 Louisiana National Guard troops to be activated in his state, which Donald Trump previously appeared receptive to. The U.S. president said in September, do we go to a place like New Orleans where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of his country, of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana. You have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks. Easier than DC. The Trump admin and administration previously sent the National Guard into Democrat-led Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. as part of their campaign to fight crime. Laundrie is a Republican, but New Orleans is a blue city in a red state. Governor Jeff Landry has asked for up to 1,000 Louisiana National Guard troops to be deployed. Landry posted that he would take the government's help from New Orleans to Shreveport. In a statement released by his office on September 30th, Landry said, "Since taking office, we have made real progress in driving down crime across Louisiana, but the job is far from finished. Federal partnerships in our toughest cities have worked, and now with the support of President Trump and Secretary Hegseth, we are taking the next step by bringing in the National Guard." Landry added that his request was about saving lives and protecting families. He said to the criminals terrorizing our communities, "Your time is up." Law and order are back in Louisiana. Louisiana National Guard acknowledged that the mission in support of law enforcement was pending approval of federal Title 32 funding. That means the troops would be under state control, but the federal government would cover their salaries and operating expenses. The Louisiana National Guard met with New Orleans police and state police on Friday to conduct preliminary contingency planning to improve public safety, according to WGNO. In September, Landry posted on X that he would take the government help from New Orleans to Shreveport. Preliminary crime statistics published by New Orleans police showed less crime in 2025. In the scene of a carjacking above. Murders dropped by 13% this year, according to data released by New Orleans police, pictured the scene of carjacking. The most recent preliminary crime statistics published by New Orleans police showed less crime this year. Murders dropped by 13%. Sorry, I saw this number. I was like, oh. First and second degree rape dropped by 29%, and robbery dropped by 26%. Police also noted a 19% increase in arrests for illegal possession of a firearm, as well as a 43% decrease in firearm seizures during criminal investigations. The 9 murders in New Orleans last week were the most since Shaman Din Jabbar, 42, killed 14 and injured 57 others while when he drove a Ford F-150 into a crowd in the French Quarter on New Year's Day. The youngest victim then was an 18-year-old, and the oldest 63. Most were in their 20s and were from across the U.S. and the world. Jabbar was killed in a firefight with police. A review of Jabbar's electronics showed that he had scoured the internet for similar massacres and researched how to access a balcony on Bourbon Street, as well as information on several shootings in the city. The National Guard has recently been deployed in Louisiana on other occasions, including after the New Year's terror attack. New Orleans experienced its deadliest week since January. There's a picture. The mobilization consisted of approximately 100 troops, more than 5,400 guardsmen from 11 states were deployed in Louisiana in 2021 to respond to the devastating effects to Hurricane Ida. 3 years later, the Louisiana National Guard was deployed by Landry to respond to the threat of Hurricane Francine. Landry's press release said that past National Guard missions had cut crime by 50% in early 2025. There you have it. And then armed woman who docks law enforcement is shot by ICE agents in Chicago after patrol was rammed by 10 cars. So this is apparently this was the article we saw. Apparently this was she tried to ram cops too at some point. A woman was shot by U.S. Border Patrol agents in Chicago after officers were boxed in by multiple vehicles. Patrolling agents were in the Windy City's south side near 39th and Kedzie on Saturday when they were rammed by 10 cars, according to Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security. One of the drivers included a woman armed with a semi-automatic weapon, which prompted officers to fire defensive shots. The female in question was part of an internal threat bulletin circulated after allegedly doxing law enforcement officials. Oh, she was looking for a fight. Yeah, no, that's why they shot her. No, she was definitely looking for a fight. The post made her under the name LaMaggie were shared to Facebook and involved an agent in Chicago. Daily Mail has approached the DHS for further comment on the person pictured on the account. According to the statement, the woman involved is a U.S. citizen and she drove herself to the hospital to get immediate care. That was denied by a spokesman for the Chicago Fire Department, however, who told the Chicago Sun-Times that the woman was found by teams in a fair condition and taken to hospital. It remains unclear at this time when the shooting unfolded. It is understood no officers were injured in the incident. I guess this is her right here. Here's the more stuff. Post shared by DHS points to the woman shot as being known as LaMaggie. Facebook post. It remains unclear at the time when it unfolded. It is understood no officers were injured. Protesters are seen right here. Oh, they're flipping them off. They're going like, fuck you, motherfucker. Authorities were on patrol in the Windy City's south side near 39th and Kedzie on Saturday when officials said they were rammed by 10 cars. Crowd protest shoots were... Oh, there's the tear gas. Get fucked. Demonstrator receives assistance after law enforcement officers used tear gas during a standoff with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Yeah, this is all tear gas. Watch out. That yellow's... Oh. Images captured at the scene show a large presence of federal agents who have managed to block out a road using their vehicles as a crowd of protesters formed. According to the Sun-Times, the crowd that gathered on Saturday to protest the shooting were met with pepper balls and tear gas from authorities. McLaughlin added, unfortunately, J.B. Pritzker, Chicago Police Department, is leaving the shooting scene and refuses to assist us in securing the area. There you have it. So police force are not working with federal agents and not stopping the issue. And so you just get lawlessness and unrest. Spokesperson for the Chicago Police Department told Daily Mail. The Chicago Police Department responded to the 3900 block of S. Kedzie Avenue Saturday morning for a call of a person shot. CPD responded to the scene to document the incident. CPD officers were also on the scene to maintain safety and traffic control for all living and working in the area. CPD is not involved in the incident or its investigation. Federal authorities are investigating this shooting, and all further inquiries regarding the circumstances of this shooting should be referred to the appropriate federal authorities. Local woman Elizabeth Ruse told the outlet that agents had also rammed into her son's truck, who is a U.S. citizen, and taken into custody. She said, why would they take him? He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. My son has nothing to do with that. They need to let him go. What, your son's a protester? He was illegally protesting? Was he agitating? According to a statement released by the Department of Homeland Security, one of the drivers was armed with a semi-automatic weapon, forcing officers to open fire at Illinois State Police officer looks as protesters on Friday. Demonstrators confront law enforcement officers during a standoff. Here. Trump admin has set its sights on Chicago in recent week to fulfill the next phase of their mass deportations. On Friday 13th, people were arrested protesting near an immigration facility outside of the city that was been frequently targeted. At this facility, some protesters aimed to block vehicles from going in or out of the area in recent weeks, part of the growing pushback to the crackdown. The crackdown has been dubbed a Midway Blitz. Yep. That's the operation they're calling it. Operation Midway Blitz. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security announced Friday that it has resulted in more than 1,000 immigration arrests. Federal agents fired tear gas, pepper balls, and other projectiles toward crowds. In response, at least 5 people faced federal charges after being arrested. On Friday 13th, people were arrested protesting near an immigration facility outside of the city that has been frequently targeted. What was this? Charlie Kirk's last request. What? Holds a sign for due process at a peaceful demonstration. Law enforcement officers condoning off an area during a standoff on Saturday. It is clear federal agents cannot be trusted to act to protect the safety and constitutional rights of the public. Sorry, what? The Democrats said. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that one. I think they're doing just fine to me. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has ordered state agencies to coordinate possible action to hold federal agents accountable. What the fuck? Get out of here. So what? You're gonna have now? You're gonna have police. Are you literally going to have police trying to jail federal agents now? Are we gonna have a fight between federal agents and police forces now? What are we doing here? State police versus federal enforcement? Okay. Let's see how that goes. Let's see who has the better guns, too. Illinois governor... by the way, the feds have fucking... They have Blackhawks. They have fucking... They got... They got all the weaponry. They got tanks. Like, what are you doing? I don't. Anyways, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has ordered state agencies to coordinate possible. Okay, yeah, we read that. Residents, some of whom were children, were pulled from the building regardless of status, detained for hours, and some kept in handcuffs. Children were separated from their parents, while officers smashed windows and tore through apartments, leaving piles of debris in the hallways. Homeland Security officials said 37 undocumented immigrants were arrested, some with criminal histories, and 2 allegedly members of a criminal Venezuelan gang. Oh, it was! Hey, it's Tren de Aragua! It's the Arugula people! Oh, man. Are they of Tren de Aragua? Who knows? We'll find out soon, right? The secret cult caves of polyamorous Mormon prophet with 85 wives are seen for the first time. Jesus, what the fuck? What? You fill on that. Okay, anyways. An expert has revealed that hidden inside secret caves in Arizona created by the self-proclaimed prophet of a polygamous cult. Oh, goodness. In preparation for the end of the world. Oh, that's why. Yes. It all starts with that, right? The Fundamentalists Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, led by Warren Jeffs, began digging caves underneath a compound that housed his enormous family. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's a more... Oh, no, I feel bad for these people. Why is it always Mormons, man? Well, I mean, it says right here, right? Why is it always... Oh, shit. I'm just kidding. It's not always the Mormons. It's just you got crazies. Okay. Jeffs is currently serving a life sentence of aggravated sexual assault and a further 20 years of another count of sexual assault. Not only were they preparing for the end of the world from a religious standpoint, but they were temporarily preparing for it, veteran investigator Mike King told News Nation. And they started digging caves that I heard about all the years I was investigating out there, but I could never prove their existence. I could never find it when I talked to members of the FLDs. Or FLDS, sorry. The church, a radical Mormon denomination of around 13,000, sorry, had mostly previously denied the existence of the caves. Members told King, "We've heard about it, but the caves don't exist." I would talk to leaders in the church who fell away and said, "No, it doesn't exist," King added. Investigator Mike King, pictured right here. What is this? The leader of self-proclaimed proclaimed prophet of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Look at his eyes. Look at dead fish eye. Anyways. Oh, here. Oh, yeah, this is one of the caves, I guess. King documented his exploration of the caves believed to have been designed to protect the leaders of the church, possibly. Whoa. Some of Jeff's wives were pictured. Oh my goodness. He had 85 wives, by the way. The caves went undiscovered until King was presented with the key that coordinates by one church member, as he was allowed to stay in the compound where Jeffs and his 85 wives were set to live out their days. At 6 o'clock the next morning, I hear a tap on my door. I open up the door. There's one of his wives standing in her prairie dress, the typical FLD's DS hairstyle, King said. She hands me a key and a set of coordinates and said, "Willie said you could go inside," and I went inside the secret caves. King documented his exploration of the caves believed to have been designed to protect the leaders of the church. He discovered them stuffed full of survival materials, including food, clothes, and church records. So basically, he built out a bunker? Like he was like a doomsday prepper? Yeah. The caves were right, he's a religious fanatic doomsday prepper. To also potentially have been created to protect cult leaders from another potential raid after the church was raided by law enforcement in 1953. They were not gonna risk their lifestyle to be shackled, and they were gonna risk having their children taken from them again, King said in a documentation video on YouTube. I suspect that the construction of the caves started immediately following that raid on Short Creek in 1953, and it would have taken years, many years, if not decades, to complete this work project. As a result of the raid, 122 adults were served warrants. The men were arrested and jailed. Most of the women were forcibly moved to Phoenix, and their children were placed in state custody, Time reported. 482BE, the first of the committee, comment. Oh, sorry. That's a ad. Oh, is this him? Is this one of the K's right here? Here's some of the wives, right? I guess this was him. Mugshot during the time in custody, left in 2020, right, in 2006. 2011, 2006. The raid was seen as a warning to similar organizations across the country and has been said to have directly contributed to many secretive polygamous sects that went way underground, according to the outlets. Yes, there are crazy religious sects that do this, right? They do the weird island retreats and shit like that. Yeah, those religious sects that do that. Yeah, they're fucking shady as fuck, to be honest. Fucking King said that many modern day members weren't even aware of the cave system and added that those that did only knew the cave was there, but he never had been inside of it and had no idea what was held inside those caves. According to the former criminal investigator, fewer than 2% of church members, then around 15,000, people knew of the cave system, and of those that did, only a handful had ever been inside. This was a well-kept secret, and that they were not going to share it. In their terms, it was only holy ground, and it was something nobody else needed to know about, King said on YouTube. The cave also provided a level of preparation against future conflicts that might come against the FLDS community, because the cult had this us versus them mindset. They harbored resentment and distrust toward the government. And frankly, any other group or organization that didn't believe in the same ideologies that they had, he said, added. Well, that's going to be hard to come by because you guys are a bunch of religious fucking extremist fanatics. Like, you're out of your minds. No one's going to fucking believe you. Right? You're basically those guys that talk about the Y2K shit, the end of the world, remember the one back in, when was it? The apparently the meteor could be hitting our planet in, like, what was it, 2012, 2014, some bullshit stupid shit like that. All right. But yeah, anyways. There's evidence that the caves were found to be full of weapons and wait, what? Potentially for protection from law enforcement, or for the end of the world. Jesus, so they were making and wait, what do you mean by were they making the were those homemade? Like what? There's evidence that they actually dug this cave by hand. You'll even see places where they drilled as they prepared to put explosives into the rock to continue digging, King said. As he entered, video showed the lane. I mean, well, yes, you do need dynamite, right? If you don't have like any like crazy power tools to like dig, right? The digging extruder tool that like those big construction places have that drill into the fucking rock bit, right? Yeah, they don't have that shit. So they have to use dynamite. That's your go-to, right? Go-to. As enter video shows, the lanes of caves fitted with doors leading to the spaces remains unclear. Explosives and weapons were found stored within the caves. Is this it? Potentially for production. An airflow hole had been drilled into the ceiling, reaching 400 feet. Oh, Jesus Christ. up to the top of the mountain above the cave system and spanning around 18 inches in diameter, according to King. The idea was that the leaders of the FLDS would go here if the apocalypse or if there was a raid. King explained as the video showed areas sealed by steel doorways. They did have electricity at one point, he added, displaying lights strung across the cave system. That's what the terror tunnels that Hamas has too. They literally have fucking shit all over the right wires and shit because of electricity. There's right, even some of those places have fucking bathrooms and shit too. Just got tools and shit laying around too sometimes. Yeah, all sorts of shit down there. Women's bathroom is he continued both feature porcelain. Wait. They did have electric. Oh yeah. There's both men and women bathrooms in there. He continued both featured a porcelain toilet and sink. Yeah. Looking through the gates as a young boy, I had no idea how much there was. How far back it went. A former member of the church, Sam Zitting Weissen, told the investigator as he looked onto the system for the first time. The cave truly exists. They're deep and cavernous. They were well throughout and planned, King explained. It validated the fact that it was a place where they stored all kinds of survival gear. It was a place that they should have been concerning to us, he added, pointing out at the rumors of the cave's existence were troubling to investigators. Well, yeah, because you might be trying to start a fucking small fucking arms business deal or trying to fucking start some conflict, yeah? The church officially formed in 1929 after the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints abandoned polygamy in 1890 and excommunicated members who refused to give up the practice of plural marriage. In the 19th century, many members began practicing plural marriage, entailing one man's marriage to multiple women. And I mean, that still happens today, right? In fucking some of the Middle Eastern countries, right? It was officially introduced into their manifesto in 1890 by President Wilford Woodruff. However, the members who disagreed broke off and created the fundamentalist movement. The mainstream church has made many attempts to clarify they did not engage in polygamy, and said those that do are not affiliated with their religion. FLDS's first formal leader was John Y. Barlow. Until his death in 1949, it was Rulon Jeffs, Warren's father, who embraced the position of the one-man rule and was the first to declare himself the prophet of God in 1980s. Rulon Jeffs had around 75 wives and 65 children before he passed away in 2002, and his position was handed over to Jeffs. FLDS holds polygamy as a fundamental belief, and its men take multiple wives in what are termed celestial marriages. My 72 virgins. Each performed a ceremony called the sealing. Jeffs is estimated at having 85 wives. A number of the celestial marriages involved underage girls. Stop. Oh yeah. And graphic video court during Jeff's trial heard the self-proclaimed prophet tell his victims that if they refused to have sex with him, in what we dubbed a heavenly session, they would be rejected by God. So using religion as a cudgel, okay. The FLDS holds polygamy as a fundamental belief. Yeah, there it is. Jeff's picture with one of his underage wives. That's weird. He was sentenced to in 2011 after being convicted of sexual assaulting 2 children, ages 12 and 15. I'll give him the wood chipper. Okay, now he needs the wood chipper. Just give him the wood chipper now. Jess was also accused of sexually abusing his own and he was doing it to his own kids. That's fucking weird. As well as his niece, and that's fucking okay. He was trying to trying to keep it in the family too. What a fucking freak. Throughout the years that he ran FLDS, which has bases in Hilldale, Utah, and Colorado City, Arizona, collectively known as Short Creek, as well as one in El Dorado, Texas, which is called the Yearning of Zion Ranch. Jess brainwashed, imprisoned, and abused multiple women and children, earning him a spot on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Good. Should be. He's a fucking cunt. In 2005, he was charged with sexual assault of a minor and conspiracy to commit sexual misconduct with a minor after he allegedly forced a then 14-year-old girl to marry her 19-year-old cousin. Wait, what? I'm sorry, huh? During the trial, the young girl claimed that her husband raped and impregnated her numerous times. However, the charges were eventually dismissed. According to CNN, the case was dropped in 2010, but the prosecutors after Jess was arrested for much more serious charges. In 2006, he was also charged with felony accomplice to the rape of a teenage girl. He was found guilty, however. The conviction was later overturned by the Utah Supreme Court, who claimed there was a mistake in jury's instructions. So there you go. Even the court fucks up sometimes. Police stormed the Zion Ranch in 2008 and arrested Jeffs for a third time after they found over 400 children at the ranch. What the fuck? What the fuck? Evidence of sexual, physical, and psychological abuse. Rolling Stones report. Jesus Christ, dude. Where is he? Oh, he's eligible for parole in 2038? No, you keep him in there. No, you fucking... Hey, if it's me, I will forget about it and never let him out. He is currently serving a life sentence plus 20 years for the charges. However, it's been reported that Jeffs has continued to preach to FLD's remaining members from his prison cell. Oh, so he's still a crazy. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, would chipper him, I would say. Away. Ex-NFL star Mark Sanchez arrested at the hospital after he was stabbed in the chest in shock incident. So this was published today. Mark Sanchez arrested at the hospital for allegedly being stabbed in the chest. Sanchez, 38, was rushed to the hospital with critical injuries on Saturday morning after allegedly being stabbed during a dispute with a food delivery driver around 12:30 a.m., Fox Sports later said. Sanchez was in stable condition. However, it was later alleged that the delivery driver acted in self-defense. Indianapolis police later announced they arrested Sanchez for battery with injury, unlawful entry of motor vehicle, and public intoxication. Oh, he was drunk. That's fine. Cops have said that Sanchez is still in the hospital and was not been booked into jail. The former Jets quarterback was in Indianapolis to call Sunday's NFL game between the Colts and the Raiders for Fox. The Daily Mail has reached out to the network for comment. Police initially said that one of the men in the incident, now known to be Sanchez, was left with injuries consistent with stab wounds, while the other man was allegedly hospitalized as well with significant injury. Over here. Here's where it was. Citing a police report, Fox 59 anchor Angela Ganote reported that the alleged victim informed cops that he was delivering food when the Fox Sports commentator told him he needed to move his vehicle and couldn't park where he was. Sanchez is accused of threatening, following, and attacking the man who tried to pepper spray him Unsuccessfully, he claimed it was at the time that he defended himself with a knife. Officers noted that the alleged victim had a significant injury to his face. The note added, the incident is said to have happened near a Long Miller's pub and eatery. So it looks like Sanchez was slugging the delivery boy or delivery guy for some reason. In response to the event, Chef Chris Bailey of the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department said, proud of our IMPD officers and detectives who stayed focused on our mission and not the noise. Their professionalism represents the best of our department. IMPD will continue to be steady, reliable presence in our city because our community deserves nothing less. Fox Sports PR also said Saturday in a statement, Mark Sanchez was injured in Indianapolis on Saturday and is currently recovering in the hospital in stable condition. We are deeply grateful to the medical team for exceptional care, for their exceptional care and support. Our thoughts and prayers are with Mark, and we ask that everyone please respect his and his family's privacy during this time. TMZ's Michael J. Babcock. Oh, it's TMZ. All the people who were laughing at Charlie Kirk's death because they're all fucking assholes. I don't even know if it's true or not, but I mean, they were laughing at the time, so it's like, give or take, you could say they were doing it purposefully. Anyways, also reported that Sanchez had no recollection of what happened during the incident, according to someone who spoke with the ex-pastor this morning, because he was drunk. He was probably blackout drunk. But that's not a defense either. They saw him do it. Babcock added that Sanchez was very out of it during that conversation due to being sedated. Following the news of his arrest, Front Office Sports Michael McCarthy reported that Sanchez would be replaced on the Colt Raiders broadcast by Brady Quinn. Here they are, the Colts Raiders. Mark and his wife have twins together, while he also has an 8-year-old son, Daniel Center, from a previous relationship. Sanchez is married to American actress Perry Matfield. The couple have 2 children together after Perry gave birth to twins in March. Sanchez also has an 8-year-old son, Daniel, from one of his previous relationships. The former quarterback played 10 seasons in NFL, including 4 with the Jets after they selected him with the 5th overall pick in 2009. He later spent time with the Eagles, Cowboys, formerly named Redskins, and Bears at backup. Sanchez received a slew of wishes following the news of the alleged stabbing. His former team, the Jets, said, sending our thoughts and love to Mark Sanchez and his family, hoping for a speedy recovery. Former NFL linebacker and ex-Fox star Emmanuel Acho, commented, trying not to freak out, but praying fervently for Mark's healing, praying for his wife's Perry's peace in the midst of this chaos, and praying for his whole family. Mark is one of the greatest men you'll ever know. Love you. And ESPN's Field Yates said, incredibly scary situation, hoping the best for Mark Sanchez. There you have it. That is the Daily Mail news. I will, like I said, I'll leave all the everything in the description.